Hi everybody and welcome to a new Green Spirit video. Today we're taking a look at this great ebook called Introduction to Cannabis, exploring the plant and its possibilities. Thanks to Rt Consulting Solutions LLC. So, Rt Consulting Solutions is a boutique consultancy firm specializing in the emerging wellness industry, particularly cannabis-based therapeutic medicines. We assist with business development, market entry, expansion strategies, and brand development, helping clients overcome challenges and achieve success in the market. This guidebook is designed to help newcomers to the cannabis industry, support continued education for those already in the field, and provide a resource for anyone curious about the plant. It offers a foundational understanding of common processes and terminology, drawing on almost a decade of industry experience as a way to give back. So, if you're an expert and somebody which has never had the opportunity from first hand to experience cannabis, you have a great responsibility and a great opportunity to make a difference. And it's in your hands to make that newcomer have a great experience, or maybe to make the customer never want to try it again, right? Especially in the recreational use of cannabis. So maybe the first time that a newcomer wants to get hands-on consuming cannabis, you should slow or even stop their their natural curiosity and make them understand that the best thing they can do is chill and first study and learn a little bit more in depth about the cannabis use, because that is going to make a huge difference, right? This is what I believe. So let's take a look at the table of contents. We have origin and anatomy, cultivating success, plant to product, quality assurance, final thoughts, a glossary, and acknowledgements. It's empty. Almost. So, origin and anatomy. Part of the Cannabaceae family, it's also one of the oldest domesticated plant species and has been used by humans for medicinal, agricultural, spiritual, and cultural purposes for thousands of years. The first written records of hemp being used as food, fiber, and agricultural crop can be traced back to around 4000 before Christ. In China, its first recorded medicinal use was in 2800 before Christ by the Chinese Emperor Shen Nong, regarded as the father of Chinese medicine, who listed its uses in Pharmacopoeia. In this picture, we can see a hop cone, which is the flower of Humulus lupulus, which is used in beer and tea, and belongs to the Cannabaceae family alongside cannabis. Now let's take a look at the chemical profile. Cannabis has a complex chemical profile containing over 500 distinct compounds, many of which are still being discovered. To date, over 100 different cannabinoids have been identified. The rest are terpenes, flavonoids, and other unknown compounds. The main chemical compound found in cannabis is THC, which stands for tetrahydrocannabinol, which is responsible for the high most commonly associated with cannabis, which can alter perception, mood, and motor functions, especially in high doses. The other dominant cannabinoid is cannabidiol, CBD, which in its pure form has no known psychoactive effects. In fact, CBD is the cannabinoid with the most medicinal properties. So the plant does not naturally produce CBD and THC, but it produces their chemical precursors, which are acids like THCA and CBDA. Over time and with exposure to heat, these carboxylic acids begin to break down in a process called decarboxylation. This can be a rapid process, such as when a flower is exposed to direct flame, or a more gradual one if plant material is left to sit at a room temperature for a long period of time. Once this is complete, the compounds CBD and THC are left behind in a more bioavailable form, which can be more easily absorbed by the human body, unlocking the therapeutic and psychoactive properties. For instance, it is unleashed and in its unheated and natural form, THCA does not produce a high. However, once exposed to heat through processes such as drying, vaping, cooking, dabbing, or smoking, THCA converts into the psychoactive compound THC. In addition to THC and CBD, a number of other cannabinoids have begun to attract mainstream attention for their potential therapeutic benefits, including CBG, cannabidiol, CBN, cannabinol, and CBC, cannabichromine. Each of these cannabinoids has its own unique properties, the potential health benefits of which are still being investigated. Generally speaking, cannabinoids can be divided into three broad categories: phytocannabinoids, endocannabinoids, and synthetic cannabinoids. So, coming from the plant, coming from our own organism. If you're a mammal, if you're watching this video, you're a mammal, you have endocannabinoids, and those cannabinoids which are lab-made, synthetically made, belong to this category. Now, let's take a look at the terpenes. Terpenes are organic compounds found in cannabis, but also in many other plants, such as lavender, citrus, pine. These compounds are responsible for the distinctive aroma and taste of these plants, which are commonly used in essential oils and fragrances. The cannabis plant contains over 200 terpene varieties. Each strain's distinctive flavors and scents arise from its unique terpene profile. Here are a few common terpenes and where they can be found in nature: pinene, marcin, limonene, caryophyllene, linalool, humulene. Excuse my English pronunciation. So, the journey from terpenes to terpenoids basically comes to say that terpenes are naturally occurring in plants, but when they undergo a chemical change, typically due to oxidation processes, which involve exposure to air and heat, they then become terpenoids. Let's now take a little look on the anatomy of plants. We have first the root system. The roots of cannabis are fibrous, with a primary taproot complemented by secondary and finer roots. The roots act as the plant's lifeline. They absorb water and oxygen from the atmosphere as essential sources of hydration and nutrition. The roots also stabilize the plant by anchoring it into soil or other growing environments. A healthy, strong root system is crucial for maximizing crop yield. A friend of mine used to say, "You don't really feed a plant, you feed the soil, and the soil feeds the plant." So, the bridge between the plant and the soil is the roots, right? Then we got the stems and stalks. The stem, originating from the primary root, is essential for supporting the aerial structure of the plant, functioning like a skeleton. It not only holds up the stalks and leaves, but also acts as a major transportation system similar to the human bloodstream, distributing water and nutrients through the plant. Leaves, sugar, and fan. The cannabis plant's large fan-like leaves function as solar panels, absorbing light, which is crucial for the photosynthesis process. These leaves are usually discarded during the trimming process due to the fact they do not contain any cannabinoids or terpenes. However, they play a vital role in the growing stages, signaling the plant's health. In contrast, sugar leaves, which are small and coated in trichomes, surround the buds and are often saved as trim during harvest for use in the manufacture of concentrates and extracts. Node. A node is a point along the main stem at which the other branches grow off, or the point on a branch from which another branch grows. The space between nodes is referred to as internodal distance and functions as an indication of how fast the plant is growing. The nodes can also be used to determine the sex of a cannabis plant, which can be male or female. Female plants produce the highly sought after resinous trichomes, while males are useful for breeding and cultivation purposes. In the production of industrial hemp, male plants are highly valued for their fibrous qualities. Female plants produce a greater concentration of cannabinoids than males. However, pollination can significantly reduce their production. In order to discourage this, male plants are kept away from females to allow the female plant to focus on the task of cannabinoid production instead of seed pollination. Nodes indicating potential. The space between nodes is referred to as internodal distance and functions as an indication of how fast the plant is growing. So here we got a node with the principal stem, and here we have two big fan leaves, and here we have another node where two more fan leaves grow, and this distance here is the internodal distance, which can give the grower information on the potential of the strain. So if you want to make an early detection of the sex of your plant, early signs of pollen sacs developing pre-flower indicate that plant is male, while the female is characterized by tuberect, which will eventually produce a hair-like stigma. Pollen sacs develop on the male plant to spread seeds, and the stigma on the female is used to catch pollen. Anatomy of a female cannabis plant. Detailed below are the recognizable features that differentiate female cannabis plants from male. So a quick look on here, we have the bract and calyx, the pistils, the buds, the cola, and the trichomes. You can have a look at this if you're interested. In addition to cannabis, tomato and tobacco plants also create trichomes to defend themselves against pests and frost while promoting pollination and increasing light reflectance. So here we have seen a big cola with its little sugar leaves around the buds. We have the pistil and stigmas of the buds, and also even smaller the trichomes. We can see the fawn leaves and the principal stem of the plant. We're gonna have a look at cannabis types and strains. In cannabis cultivation, the terms strain and cultivar refer to the different varieties of the plant. While they are often used interchangeably, their meanings differ. Understanding this difference helps to clarify the specific context in which each term is used. The term cultivar describes a group of plants with specific and distinguishable characteristics which have been produced through selective breeding and human intervention. The strain. This term is used informally to refer to a variety or type of cannabis, focusing more on its effects, flavors, or aromas. Indica, sativa, and hybrids. We have, sativa, which is known for tall and slender appearance, and usually it's got high CBD content and low THC levels. We have cannabis indica, which are shorter and bushier, and they tend to contain higher levels of THC than sativas. We have cannabis ruderalis, which flowers based on age rather than the light exposure, which makes it easier to grow, and which generally has a lower THC content compared to sativa and indica. And then you have hybrids, which combine traits from both types. It's cool if you notice that these definitions provide general characteristics, right? Cultivating success. Let's take a look. So, cannabis can be grown using a number of different methods depending on the preferences, and we're going to take a look on seeds versus clones. So each approach comes with its own advantages and challenges. Seeds offer the satisfaction of nurturing a plant from its beginning, while clones provide a reliable and efficient path to harvest. Clones are cuttings taken from a mature mother plant and are genetically identical to their source. This offers consistency and quicker start. Choosing to start with clones rather than seedlings can work well for growers with shorter timeline, as it allows them to begin the process further along in the growth cycle. On the other hand, seeds allow for genetic diversity and a fresh start, ensuring the grow is free from any potential issues which could have been inherited from the parent plant. Now we're going to take a look at the types of seeds. Seeds come in three main types: feminized, autoflowering, and regular, each with their own unique characteristics. Feminized seeds ensure nearly all plants are female, maximizing flower production. We've got autoflowering seeds, which automatically flower based on their age, eliminating the need for light cycle manipulation. We have regular seeds, which allow the growth of both female and male plants, often preferred by breeders for genetic diversity. And here we have a beautiful picture of seeds. Seed secrets. You can tell by looking whether the seeds are destined to be regular cannabis, feminized plants, autoflowers, or even industrial hemp. These seeds look all the same. Autoflower versus photoperiod plants. Another important decision to make is whether to use photoperiod or autoflower plants. Photoperiod plants rely on changes in light exposure to transition between the vegetative and flowering stages, giving growers precise control over the timings of this. In contrast, autoflowers flower automatically after a set period regardless of light conditions, making them ideal for those seeking a faster, more straightforward growth. Understanding each of these methods and how they differ allows growers to experiment with what works best for them and to tailor their approach to achieve optimal results. As we move into different growth stages of cannabis, we'll explore how these starting points set the foundation for the plant's development through germination, seedling, vegetative, and flowering phases. Below is an overview of each stage in the cannabis life cycle. Please keep in mind the variables discussed above and remember, these are living plants. Their growth may not neatly align with your weekly or monthly schedules. You have to trust the process. Growth stages, we have germination from the seed, the seedling stage, the vegetative stage, the flowering stage, then we have the harvesting and the curing. So if you are more interested, you can take a look here. And the final part from harvesting and curing, you can have an idea of when to cut the plant just by looking at its terpenes and their color. We can here see the clear terpenes, cloudy terpenes, and amber terpenes. Usually they say that the best time to cut it down is when they are cloudy, but it's all up to your own preference. Crafting conditions for success, you can take a look here and control the lighting, the environmental control, watering and irrigation, nutrients, growing mediums, cultivation method, pest management, and sustainability. A note on sustainability. The therapeutic power of cannabis is rooted in the health of the soil it grows in. By honoring the connection between soil cultivation and extraction, we unlock the full spectrum of cannabis wellness potential, delivering medicine that nourishes both body and planet. Said by Delia Flanagan. Plant to product. Cannabis is an extremely versatile plant, making it adaptable to a range of product formats and delivery methods, depending on personal preference and the specific needs of the end user. Having explored the origins, anatomy, growth stages, and key aspects of cultivation cannabis, in this chapter we'll move on to discussion the various consumption methods, cannabis-derived products, and the manufacturing processes behind them. In medical markets, the type of products available on prescription are often more limited than those sold recreationally. It is also crucial that producers consider the variations in potency between the different product formats, such as flower, extracts, concentrates, and isolates. So, let's take a quick look on consumption methods. We have oral with edibles, capsules, oils, and sprays. We have topical with creams, salves, and patches. We have combustion with joints, pipes, and bongs. And we have vaporization with dry flower, oils, and concentrates. And also you can take suppositories. So as you can see, many different methods, which is great and makes it really versatile. Combustion methods: smoking joints, pipes, bongs, which involve burning cannabis to release cannabinoids. Vaporization provides a smoke-free alternative by heating dry flower, oils, or concentrates at lower temperatures, preserving terpenes and reducing harmful byproducts. Side note: when cannabis flower is prescribed, it is usually required to be vaporized. Smoking is generally associated with recreational use, and in many jurisdictions, this form of consumption remains illegal, even when the cannabis product is prescribed due to the potential health risks. So, oral consumption takes longer to take effect, but it provides prolonged relief. Topical application offers localized relief without psychoactive effects, and suppositories provide an alternative method for systemic absorption and are often used for medical purposes. So, coming from flower, cannabis product formats, we can see the full knock here, we can see the kief, and we did see popcorn, right? You can read it here. And when it comes to extracted products, you have oils and tinctures, concentrates, distillates, and isolates. You can take a look here at the definitions if you're interested. And when it comes to extracts, you have full spectrum, broad spectrum, and isolate. Full spectrum retains all cannabinoids and terpenes. Broad spectrum contains multiple cannabinoids, usually THC-free, and isolates, which are the purest form, with a single cannabinoid. The most well-known extraction methods are the hydrocarbon extraction, the ethanol extraction, and the CO2 extraction. So if you're interested in these methods, you can take a further look here. I'm gonna leave the link of the page where you can access this PDF in the video description. Next point, let's talk about hash. Solventless extraction mechanically separates cannabinoids and terpenes without the use of chemicals. This method is especially popular in recreational markets, as it is valued for producing clean, pure concentrates without the chemical dissolution of trichomes. Let's take a look at the hash history. Charas is a traditional hand-rubbed hash made during harvest when workers collect sticky resin from fresh cannabis plants, forming temple balls. These were historically rumored to be eaten or burned as incense until 1060s, when tobacco introduced smoking to India. So hash is a potent material that is a great base for concentrates or edibles and can be smoked, vaped, or ingested. With further processing such as freeze drying and pressing with a rosin press, potent concentrates can be produced. Often this is done with fresh frozen material. Shortly after plants are harvested, they are flash frozen to preserve the original cannabinoid and terpene profile until the material can be processed into hash. So the final product of cold water extraction, freeze drying, and pressing is known as rosin. If the starting material is fresh frozen, the result is considered leaf rosin. Right, you can take a look here. And here we have a note: live rosin should not be confused with leaf resin, which is produced using solvents, but is also recognized for its high purity and potency. Which method to use for collecting trichomes? Use kief, which is collecting from trimming and grinding, suitable for general use, or use dry sift, where trichomes are rubbed directly off the plant, offering a more refined collection. The decision is up to you. Okay. So we're gonna have a quick look on the quality assurance. So you have to know that there are different compliance standards when it comes to cannabis production. You can take a look here real quick. You can make analytical testing in order to check that it's complying with regulations. You can identify contaminants and optimize the strains for specific applications. We can see that the key testing categories are the potency, pesticides, heavy metals, microbiological contaminants, residual solvents, terpene profiling. How to address challenges in cannabis testing. So, standardizing methods and reducing costs. I agree. Here we can read about packaging and labeling. So let's say that for consumer safety, it's crucial that manufacturers label their product with all the crucial information. Of course, be careful where you get your cannabis. Here you can read about remediation and decontamination, which are two important processes in cannabis. And then we come to the final thoughts. Having spent nearly a decade working in both the recreational and medical cannabis markets across North America and Europe, I've seen firsthand how the industry continues to evolve. I've created this free resource to help others navigate that evolution, whether that's a business looking to enter or expand in the cannabis space, or an individual seeking to understand the complexities of this exciting market. Through this guide, we've explored the foundational elements of cannabis production, from the plant's origin and anatomy to its growth cycles, product types, compliance testing, and packaging, right? I've tried to take a quick look on all that. So as you move forward, remember that every step in the process directly impacts the final process. Staying informed and committed to best practices will help you create safe, high-quality cannabis that meet both consumers' expectations and regulatory requirements. The cannabis industry is dynamic, and the more you learn, the more equipped you'll be to navigate its opportunities and challenges. I recommend you use this guide as a crucial stepping stone, staying curious and committed to excellence in all areas of cannabis production. Here you have a great glossary with all the terms that we have been talking about in this video. You can have a look if you don't understand or you just want to learn more about a specific concept. Really nice. And the acknowledgements. And here we can read a Bill Murray quote saying, "I find it quite ironic that the most dangerous thing about weed is getting caught with it." So here was this quick read on this ebook, which is great. It covers fundamental and important cannabis topics in a really efficient and not too long way. So I would say I would recommend reading this ebook if you're gonna start in the cannabis world. or you're just attracted to it, or want to take a starting approach. I enjoyed reading it out loud. I hope that you have learned something about it too with me. So the Spannabis is coming soon. It's gonna be the last Spannabis in Barcelona, and the team of Rt Consulting Solutions LLC is gonna be there. So I'm gonna meet them, and you can do too, right? So thanks for visiting this video. I hope you have a great day, and if you have any doubt or want to comment, feel free, and see you in the next video. Thank you very much.